All right, guys, B'siyata Dishmaya. We are going to be having an interesting conversation today. B'ezrat Hashem, connecting all the way to Mexico with a bright star, a bright light. Here we have, Baruch Hashem, I see that Moy has joined. We're going to be talking today with Moy Askenazi from Mexico on the topic of the DARKECHA is a book that I've been teaching for years, and saw also here and there I see other people that are also tapping into this amazing book and bringing it to the masses. I thought it would be nice to have a conversation to see what the power of the book and what it can do, and how it's affecting our generation. Because it happens to be a book that really has a play on everything that we're going through as Jews and helping us come back to essentially the prophetic era that's going to lead into Mashiach. The gates are going to open up. And we're going to be able to really tap into what we've been meaning to do this whole entire time. Second, I'm just trying to get more on here. See if we can connect. Unable to join. That would be a shame. Try. There we go. All
What's up,
right.
Buffy?
You made it work.
Did work.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Welcome.
Thank
You
you,
for coming on and agreeing to have this talk and to discuss one of the most amazing sephers that come out ever, and I think in the history of Am Yisrael. Let's start first with maybe you tell people a little bit about yourself. You know, you're all the way in Mexico, and it's not every day that people get to speak with Jews living in Mexico. So go ahead and spread some light on who is Moy and what is deep inside.
Awesome. Thank you for the invitation. I'm very glad to be speaking about this book and Primitive Torah. It's just life, real life. So I'm I grew up traditional here in Mexico. I was a searcher of truth. I went to different paths, and I was born or reborn 8 years ago in Spas with Avavshi. And then when I came back from that trip, I was just like a new person. Like I didn't see the world yeah, as I used to see it. And since then, it's been like an intense journey, intense spiritual journey, going through Torah, going through um, real transformation in Hasidus. And I even made Aliyah 2 years ago. We had to come back for family reasons and stuff, but now I live here in Cuernavaca. It's a little town close to Mexico City, and we give classes in Hasidut, we give shiurim, we give retreats, and we're just trying to wake up the neshama. Here in Mexico, like the light of Hasidut has been are turning lately, but late but surely. Like it was, so people are going to getting to taste with the light of Hashem, the light of Mashiach, and hopefully that's gonna that's gonna make a lot of people connect to Hashem and to the real essence of Torah, and just people are having an amazing experience with this. And of course, this book,
So special. How many Jews are in Mexico?
50,000, 40,000.
40,000. All right. So it's about time. That's it. That's a lot of people. We have to get into this new age of understanding the Torah and the depths that the advice that the tzaddikim have given us. But you said something very interesting, that essentially you're taking it to the next level. You stepping more into your Judaism and embracing the Torah more was actually born here in Tzfat. I'm in the holy city of Tzfat,
I
and
know.
I just want to hear. Obviously, Rabbi Avshi Weingot is a powerhouse and a huge light. But could you talk a little bit more about what is it about Tzfat that does it to people, that wakes people up in the way it did for you?
I think it's just the air, like really, like it's just something happened. I remember like when I went, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. It was like something happened that I can't grasp, and it was just when I was there, I didn't understand anything. I wasn't like I didn't understand what was happening, and after she told me, take it easy. When you go back, you're gonna feel the drops getting into it. And I was like, when I came back, the moment that I landed in Mexico, I wanted to go back to Tzfat again. And I don't know, it's the people, the air, the Kabbalah Shabbat. It's just something. We didn't even open up a book the first time that I went. It was just walking and having chats and the mikveh and the mountains and the tzaddikim.
Yeah, the strong people like you can come once or twice a year and tap in. For us weak people, we need to be here all the time to have the support of the city to keep going.
No, that's the other way around. I wish. I wish.
So, how this beautiful Biyam Darkecha? Maybe I'll introduce it to the people first. What is this book in general, and then we'll get deeper into the story of how it came up in your life and my life. But essentially, Biyam Darkecha is a series. I have a small little version of a printout of a specific topic called Dveikut, right? But all of them pretty much look like this. Or here we have one more classic one, how they look. Biyam Darkecha. They are essentially books written by a student of Rav Yitzchak Meir Morgenstern, who is a leading Kabbalist and Hasidic master in our generation, pulling from all of the Torahs, all of the Hasidic masters, Baal Shem Tov, Baal Atanya, Zilichov, Kamarna, Reb Nachman, everything together into a beautiful system that works according to Kabbalistic principles as well. And his student is, you won't find his name anywhere in the book, but his name is Rav Pinchas Halberstadt. He's an amazing tzaddik that lives in Bnei Brak, very young, amazing mind, very high levels of kedusha. I spent some time with him, and he's really, really, really a special person. And this book um, essentially is a guide. There's many different versions of it, but it's a series explaining, taking deep, deep, deep teachings from the Kabbalistic masters such as the Arizal and the Rashash, Rav Shalom Sharabi, and the Baal Shem Tov, infusing it with the Baal Shem Tov and giving it to us as a guide, right? So when the Torah says you have to eat in a holy way, what does that mean? How do I eat like a holy person? How does a chassid, how does a holy Jew eat, right? And what is prayer meant to be? What does prayer even mean? Is it just requests for different things? What is it, right? All these different topics that we are talked about and taught about in Judaism all the time, but on a much deeper approach and very practical. He always gives you the tools of how to do it, right? And what maybe obstacles you're going to come across. So it's a groundbreaking book. It's changed my life. I have given over 200 classes in Biyam Darkecha, and I saw that just by seeing this on the side of your video, I saw that you were also in there, and that gave it away more than the Spanish, right? The Spanish it took me a
Uh,
little bit harder to understand it was Biyam Darkecha, but I thought, okay, let's talk about this beautiful book, because if we're both people that are teaching it on different sides of the world, it must be that powerful. So, how did you come across Biyam Darkecha?
I think it was when I was in Israel. I saw the pamphlets. I think my brother gave me one of those before a Chag. And I was reading it, it was like, whoa, something I felt inside, like the Bekut instantly. It was preparing for a Chag. And I'm like, Michael, what's this? Then he told me what was it. And then I went to Mea Shearim, to Avtacham to buy the books. And then I started to read, and I started to apply them. And I was reading the chapter of Chavat Israel when I was living there. So I was like, whoa, this works like magic. And it was the deepest teachings in the simplest forms like that I could read. So it was like, and it was very practical also. It wasn't just theory. Like it was do this, do this, do this, and this is what this means. It's just something out of this world. I was going crazy with it, and then I went into the other books of the Yam Darkecha, and ever since I've been studying it. I've had chabruta with those topics, and then I was asked to give a class, a retreat, an intense retreat of the principles of Kabbalah. And I had a lot of study of Kabbalah, but I didn't know like how to make it like a functional for people that don't know yet nothing of it, and then how to structure it. And then I saw the book. I bought the book of Primitiva Torah. I saw the Primitiva Torah. I was like, wow, this is like the perfect guide for people to learn Kabbalah to apply it, and that's what we did in that retreat. I think that you saw in the video. It was like a 1 day retreat, like intense retreat, and people were amazed by it. I loved it.
It's, it's a very, very, very beautiful book. What I got to sit with the author for 2 hours at his office, and I asked him, "What is it like? What did you do here? Like, what? How did you do this?" So he said, essentially, the book only has one message. He let me guess it, and I'm gonna ask you to guess it.
Very good.
It's a saying that we say. What's the one saying in throughout all of YAM DARKECHA?
The back, I think it's the back. I think.
A few more words. A few more words.
Ah, give me a hint.
And
Eino milvado. Of course, it repeats over and over and over.
the
Eino
whole
milvado. Everything is
entire
just
book is the whole entire book is Enod Milvado. There's nothing besides God. There's nothing besides God. Everything that you are experiencing is godly. It's all a message. It's all a way to connect, right? But he said the book is 80% orot, 80% light, and 20% kelim, 20% vessels, right? So he always is giving you a way to apply it, right? But really, he's changing the way you just look at things. When you see a Jew, like you said earlier, the chapter in Ahavat Yisrael, right? When you see a Jew, it's not just the body that you see in front of you. There's a soul inside of there. There's a spark of Hashem inside of that soul. And if you can look at that, it's godly, it's beautiful. That person, that friend, that person is amazing. There's nothing wrong with them at all. They're perfect exactly how they are. Just these things change the way you look at life and the way you go through life.
100%. And also, it's very condensed. Like it's very simple. Like it's very like the chapter of Havatzah is like three or four pages, and then you can work a whole year on those 3 pages, and you're gonna get like very, very, very high places. It's just out of this world. Like, and the commentary on the bottom, is it him also?
Yeah, so essentially the way the book is made is, right, you have, let's give an example here just to show people so that you can see inside. What he did here is you'll have the top part of the book. This is the main book. And then you have the bottom. The bottom here. What's the difference? His instructions when reading B'Yam Darkecha is to read the first read the whole entire top part before you go down. It's not always, it's not like a iron rule, right? There are exceptions, but that's how the
Yeah.
Chatchila, that's how to start off. You should read it. You read the whole entire top part, and then only then you go into the footnotes. Why? He says the top part is chokhmah. That's the whole idea is there, right? But it's there without many details. It's there, and if you read it, it has tons of details, but it doesn't go that deep, even though it's extremely deep, right? But when you go down to the bottom part of the book, that's the bina. That's where the things start to get much deeper and much finer and with examples, right? So he wants you first to grasp the idea on the top and then go deeper into the bottom and to really bring it out.
It's just amazing. Like every time I just open it, I just go into the Bakut, and it just give me like a like a key to open up the moment. Like I open it up before Shabbat, the Shabbat one, and it just gives you like the 3 or 4 things you have to really connect to it during Minchab Shabbat. I'm just like, okay, perfect. Like that's it. This is it. And then by reading this
What
book, what?
go ahead.
No, by reading this book, I then got to buy the books of Rav Ronenstein. YAM Chochmah, Nishmatim Chadatin. Whoa, that's next level. Like
Yeah.
that's hardcore. I love it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's Rav Itchemayer's world is a very, very interesting world because we're now standing hundreds of years after having hundreds and hundreds of books in Kabbalah, and you have a master that's able to come from now in our generation and look backwards and show you how there's no disagreements here. Everyone's saying the same thing, but everyone needs to be respected in their own individual path because there's a theory of relativity. When you're up, this Torah is the truth. But when you're down, it's not the truth anymore. This Torah is the truth, right? When you're in the bottom of your life and you feel like you can't even breathe, you need Likutei Moharan, you need Reb Nachman. And when you're floating and you're doing good, you might be okay with the Tanya. That might be all right. It's fine, right? They're both true.
All
It just depends where
is one.
you are, right? And Rav Itchamar is amazing in being able to do that. And especially, I think the main thing that YAM DARKECHA takes from Rav Itchamar is the idea of Ani ve'ayin bevat echad. One, I am and I'm not at once, right? I'm by myself worth nothing without Hashem, without God in my life. What am I? Another animal in this world, another piece of dirt. But I was sent here and chosen by Hashem and to put on a mission, so I have to push as much as I can and I have to be as strong as possible and do my best job to get this mission accomplished. And I need to live both of those realities at the same time. That, and it sounds very, very complicated. The more you learn about it, though, you realize that it's doable. Here and there, it's doable. There's times in your life you can touch into it.
I get like I feel like when I read these books, I feel like I'm like somebody gets me. Like I'm trying to serve this spiritual world in the Pimiyot in the Tefillah, and then I get, oh, so this tzaddik has gone through all of those worlds. I'm just starting to in the bottom, but he knows all the in and outs. Like Rabbi Nachman, like without Rabbi Nachman, I wouldn't be able to survive a day. Like no way. Like how do I do any about that? But when you're high, you know how to fly, and then when you're low, you know how to don't fall so low.
Yeah.
That's that's what Rabbi Nachman calls to be baki v'alacha. That's a when you're high, you know how to ride, and when you're low, you know how to not fall so far. And that's what
One of the most
I
powerful.
believe the book gives it. Like it's really a guide to spiritual surfing, to spiritual ladder.
One of those, what you just mentioned, also is brought up in B'yam Darkecha and Elul, which is one of the most beautiful B'yam Darkechas that there is. Elul and Tishrei and Rosh Hashanah and the holidays. Understanding this, whoever is so far interested in these classes and you speak English and you're watching this far, I have them all on my YouTube. They're all in playlists. They're all can be watched if you can't get the book yet. But I highly recommend to get the book. The Hebrew is very, very, very easy to understand if you know a little bit, right? If you know how to read a book in Hebrew, it is one of the easier books to read, and it really, yeah, it's a very powerful book that I think just needs more light, more people. Another person that learns B'yam Darkecha a lot is Nissim Glab. He learns it. He's heavy into it. He loves it. Can't hear you. Are you back? Nope. All right. Nope. Still can't get you more, but Apple products. Still can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. No. Maybe disconnect and try to connect again. And drop off the Instagram and come back. All right. If anybody has any questions in the meantime, again, B'yam Darkecha, maybe we can even learn a little bit right now. Learn a little bit now. It says, like now, sometimes the light is completely concealed, right? And we're not able. Things don't work. Things are not going how they should be, right? Can we hear you, Namoy? Still can't hear. Can you guys hear him? Can everybody else hear him? If anybody's watching and they can hear Moy, please let us know. the book is YAM DARKECHA. Again, it's the title of this live as well. Just gonna keep going. Sometimes, right, everything is completely concealed and everything's shut off. The person's not able to feel a light coming down on them. They're not able to engage with anything that's above them. Sometimes they can't even really contemplate on ideas that are higher and ideas of serving Hashem. In a situation like this, a person has to be happy with whatever they have and to stand in the opening with anticipation, with a prayer, to be able to feel, to connect. Sometimes the light doesn't come down. This book, one of the most amazing things about Beyond Darkecham is that it's very real. It's very down to earth. Like Moy said, just understands it. There we go. We can hear.
Now, am I good?
We're good.
Okay, I'm back then.
Okay. So since you're back, we're gonna learn a little bit now. Just a short page, right? It's in the book of Biyam Darkecha on Dveikut, on attachment and connecting to Hashem by way of meditation and contemplation and feeling the emotions, having a deep relationship with Hashem. He says sometimes a person is completely concealed. They have everything closed off on them, right? The Instagram goes off, you can't hear, doesn't work, right? And you're not even able to feel a makif, you're not even able to feel a light around you, even not internally, but externally even. In a situation like this, where you can't even contemplate, you can't even feel the light of Hashem in the idea, in the mind, you have to be happy with your portion. You have to be happy with what you have, and to stand in the opening, and to just be there in tzipiyah and tefillah, to be there in anticipation, to be there in yearning and praying to Hashem, meaning, I have a desire that it should open up for me, and even if I don't feel anything, no emotions have come, no light has come down, I'm standing here and I want it. I do want it. I'm not going to push because I know Hashem runs the world, but I really want it. And if you hold on with loyalty to Hashem, and you do your part with anticipation, even when it appears like you're not successful, then in the end, for sure you'll have a big, big opening and everything will come down. And know that all of the tzaddikim went through these hardships. And sometimes it took them many, many years that they didn't feel anything. And the secrets of success was that even in the darkness, they held on to constantly working on their dveikut, and they never left their inner dveikut, their inner attachment to Hashem, and their will and their talking to Hashem all the time. They always wanted to be connected, and they always talked to Hashem. And their emunah and Hashem, they stayed with them always. Ad sheniftach them, until it opened up for them. And this is a huge principle, a huge teaching. Every single level that you feel, any level that you ever merited to, don't leave it. If it closes up, stay there for a little bit. Feel the light, anticipate for more, have yearning for the light of loyalty. It's literally one page out of thousands.
The lashon is so matok. It's so sweet. It's like, and I think it's people are asking if it's in English. I think it is, right?
I was meant to be involved in the translation. It didn't really work out. We got pregnant at the time. It didn't pan out. But I oversaw some of the translation. Essentially, the book is finished and it's ready in English. But I don't know why it hasn't been printed yet. I think there's like a few editing and there's a little bit of a disagreement of how it should come out in English. Some people wanted it to be in very nice, like posh, high English. And I told the Rebbe, I was like, no. Make it simple just like it is in Hebrew. In Hebrew, it's specifically simple for everybody to be able to read it. In English, it should be the same way. We don't need a professor language in a book that's meant to change the generation. So I don't know what's going to be in the end. I don't know what they're going to go with. But there are books in English. For example, you have this one, Biyam Darkecha, Rachel and Leah. Rachel and Leah is an essential book. Maybe we should talk about that a little bit.
Wow.
But you do have different things in English, and anybody who's interested in general in teachings in Biyam Darkecha in English, again, I have classes online on YouTube and on Instagram. Nearly everything I've ever taught is Biyam Darkecha. There are exceptions, but and I also have PDFs and different things that I could share if someone really wants and they're sincere and they're going to read it, please reach out to me, send me a message, and I'll send you some things to check out. Rachel and Leah, let's go.
Wow, that was a big eye opening for me. I was in Israel also when I read that book. I was like, oh, now I get it. Okay, so it's different type of thought. Like there's one group of souls that just do this target, like the religious people of Leah. Like it's more like the Talmud used to be like in Avodah all day, and Rachel, it's like more spiritual kind, and wow, it's just very very deep and very very um, ten insight of what your soul is and on what your Avodah is and why does Hashem put you around many different type of souls so you can complement each other. It's just
Yeah.
amazing. What's your take? It's
No, Rachel and Leah is it's probably one of the books that today I asked online, what is a book that's changed your life? Rachel and Leah is definitely within YAM DARKECHA as a whole, right? YAM DARKECHA is probably one of the most powerful books series I've ever gotten into. But Rachel and Leah specifically, it was something that, like you said, it allows you to understand relationships. It allows you to understand the people that are around me, why were they put in front of me, and also my relationship with Hashem, where sometimes, I need to give myself a little push in the back and do what I need to do without asking myself how I feel about it. And sometimes when the light is coming down and everything feels amazing, I need to take immense pleasure in that as well. And like just really dive in and feel it. And like there's so many different things that Rachel and Leah touch on. I'm in the process now. I have maybe 4 more classes left until I finish it. I've been teaching it for the past few months. Every week we have a chabura here in Tzfat. It's the third time I'm teaching the book, and every single time, it's like I could read it again and again and again, and you're gonna learn more and more every single time. It doesn't get old. So
wow.
you develop over time, and it's about your relationships, and it's about understanding yourself and people. So that's infinite, and the information that's there and the advice that's there is also infinite.
One of the insights that I think it was more that I integrated into my Avodah, it was like the tachlit, the objective, is to serve Hashem. When you feel it, that's amazing. But if not, keep on going. Like just keep on pushing. That's the highest. Yeah, like that's the best. If you can have a bekut and you can go up the ladder, amazing. But if not, you're doing good. And sometimes because I used to feel like when I didn't have like a deep tefillah or a deep study, I was like, okay, this it's not worth
Not
it. But
worth
it
it.
is.
Yeah, it really is. It's we're blessed in our generation to have such teachings and to have it. Do you have classes recorded in Spanish and beyond
Yep,
in public?
yep. We have a YouTube on YouTube. We have I have a Chabruta that's private on Yanarkecha, but I have the Kabbalah course on YouTube in Spanish. And
Nice,
Bezat Hashem,
nice.
we have to give more class on Yanarkecha. I see.
It's
You should,
it's important. It's important.
no doubt, no doubt. We also do a retreat in a Tessit. That's like a very special place on the mountain. We do a retreat on Achila. So we studied what's the deep meaning of eating, and then we planted the food and we did all the process, and then we meditated on chewing and stuff, and it was like out of this world. You can't imagine. It was all based on Yanarkech. We did a Haruta for 4 months, and then we did a retreat we invited a group of people, a group of women.
So special. Tell me a little bit more about your retreats. I'm interested. What's going on? What is a retreat? What are you guys doing?
So we basically we do like a 1 day retreat. We study like intense either Tanya or Rabbi Nachman. We do practical meditations and exercises, and they come from Mexico. They come here to uptown, like to Cuernavaca. It's like more like a natural place, and they just go into the spiritual uh, uh, experience of just going into a book like deep, like intense, on the open, like in the open air, like the garden and stuff. and we do meditations, and pretty much that's what we do.
And
And
what
sometimes we do like a 2 day retreat in a test and stuff, but usually it's a 1 day, 1 night.
what type of people are coming?
Mostly women. I don't know why. I think they're. I don't know if men are more busy or they're scared of Primita Torah.
The men, the men think they know it all.
Also,
So,
but it's
yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting. Is there this like I've been talking to other people online about this, but there's definitely a sense. I'm also giving classes in breath work, the Torah approach to breath work. It's on my YouTube. I've given 11 classes so far, I think, in a beautiful book called Neshama Neshima. And I'm talking to people about this ruach, this spirit of healing that's coming across the world. We're feeling it strong here in Israel after the war. There's a big push now. People want to get healthy, right? Today I went to the gym for the first time in I don't know how many years, right? But people
It's a
want to
big
get
avodah.
healthy. Yeah, it is a huge up with that. I felt really, really holy today as well. Like in the gym, I felt like I really felt good in a Baruch Hashem, in a very spiritual sense. So, um, is it also going on in Mexico?
100%, totally. Um, the thing here is that when people are looking for answers, there's not much answers. Like there's little answer. Like there's one person that gives breath work, then one person gives Pinimita Torah, but it's starting to open up. It's starting to get into the masses, but still, it's a working process. So people that are looking, when they don't know that they can find something in Judaism, they go other places, and then they come back. But I think each time is getting more open, and people are getting to know like the way to Primit Torah, to the light, to Hashem. And I always advise people: you have to go to Israel, even just to visit, like just step on that on the Holy Land, and that's gonna do the work. Like that's where Hashem is. Like really, that's where your soul comes back to life.
For sure. It's a huge key opener, right? And I think I can say this for you. You wouldn't be the same person, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing if you didn't spend time in Tzfat. And it wasn't just the one time that you came, right?
No,
All the times you come for Shabbat and you experience Kabbalat Shabbat at Mekarev and a meal at Abshi's house and
and
being around
I was by
people.
you, by you and Sebastian Sheet once with your Rav
Correct.
in the paintings.
Correct. He passed away actually after Rosh
What?
Hashanah. Rav Turjuman.
I
Yeah.
can't believe it.
Big a big Rebbe of mine, and yeah, Baruch Hashem, we're working also hard now, also connected to this Ruach of healing. He put out an amazing book called The Gesher, The Bridge, and I'm working on now. Actually, maybe you could help. We want to get it into Spanish. We just finished the English translation. It's in Hebrew. It's helping already over 200 soldiers that were experiencing PTSD, and they said that they've overcome it by reading the book. It's out of this world. It's really powerful. And now that he's passed away, we're trying our best to get it out there, especially now in this time. So there's a lot going on in Tzfat. Tzfat has an influence in the world that people don't really realize. And I didn't even realize as much until you really spend time here and you see a person like yourself come here, right, for one Shabbat and then go back with energy for 6 months, right, to keep doing it.
Yeah, that's. I always feel connected to Tzfat. Like it's home for me.
That's where all this Pnimiyut, all this Kabbalah, all of these teachings deep in the Hasidic masters, they all know. Tzfat is the source of where this Chokhmah comes out into the world. Tzfat is Gematria Shar, right? Gate. It's one of the gates. It's bringing down this wisdom down all the time. I feel blessed to be here, but also to be connected to Jew in Mexico.
It's amazing. It's Gematria Tefilim also. Crazy, huh?
Yeah. Naphtali. Naphtali is the
Of
land that
course.
the Shevet that we're in right now. Tzfat is part of the land of Naphtali, which is also the letters Tefillim.
I know. Crazy. Yeah, it's
Yeah, someone just commented right now. I love that you talk so much about books. So the truth is that when I was setting this up, I was thinking, I was like, essentially, I'm trying to interview someone, but not me, not so much about him, even though obviously we're doing that, but more about how he connects to a book. And I realized that we're essentially having a podcast about a book about, and if you really think about it, that's the deepest thing that you could think about as a Jew, is that this physical object, right, with just paper and ink, can change the whole entire world. What is it, right? What is it? And that's what YAM DARKECHA gives you the eyes to see. To see that there's something behind everything, right? There's light behind everything in this world. And yeah, physically, my eyes will tell me that it's just paper and ink. But my neshama, what do I know to be true?
Oh,
I know that there's light in here. And when I feel it in my heart and I make that yichud, I can make that connection between the two, the outcome is a wonder. It's out of this world.
that's what.
What's the name of the book? Do you ever think about why is it called YAM DARKECHA?
I think that's the pasuk of Tehillim, the 77.
And what's the pasuk though?
So now you're gonna have to help me.
ויעם דרכך ושפילך במים רבים ועקבותיך לא נדעו. Right? Your path is in the sea. שפילך במים רבים. The path that you want me to go down is מים רבים. It's stormy waters, crazy waters. In Kabbalah, waters are lusts, distractions, and physicality and materialism. ועקבותיך לא נדעו. And your footprints, they're not known. So you put me here in this world, you want me to go through crazy waters, and I can't even see where I'm meant to go. Meaning, I've been told for 200 years by Kabbalistic masters that I have to eat in a holy way. But what does that even mean? What am I meant to think about? What am I meant to do? What is going to come up? What are the tests I'm going to experience? What does that even mean? Give it to me in a book, clear as day. What does that mean to eat holy? And no one has ever done that, really. One-liners here and there, right? Different code names and yichudim and shemot and names of Hashem, but bringing it down, bringing it into my head and then into my heart and then into my fingers and my mouth, right? Let me live it, but through a full process, and that's what it did. I asked my wife, what is it about YAM DARKECHA? You know, her husband's given over 200 classes from these books. Like, so, you know, she's heard it a lot. Right? What do you take from YAM DARKECHA? And she said that essentially this is what Judaism was, and it's the book that's helping us get back to it.
Totally agree.
We are a meditative people. We meditate. We're the children of prophets. We're meant to become prophets again. How can we get that to that stage if we're not eating in a prophetic way, if we're not praying in a prophetic way, learning Torah in a prophetic way?
Hakol talui bo, how it says. Everything depends on the eating. There was a Rav that was gonna give a class in my Chavrutas house, and he went in, and he saw the book, so he took it, he opened it up, and my Chavruta asked him, like, "What are you gonna talk about tonight?" Like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna open up this book and I'm gonna read it. Like, what is this? And I've seen many Rabbeim and people that just open the book and they're like, "Whoa, what's this?" And they just get hooked on it. It's something. It's just it's the deepest and the simplest.
Yeah, it really is. And because what is it essentially? Hashem is simple. We're the ones that are complicated. The light is simple before it comes down into the prism, right? Take a prism, you take the white light that comes into the crystal, it comes out in a rainbow, but the rainbow and the white light is the same light. Here it looks like a bunch of colors, but really it's simple. So when you break it down that way, then what's left to explain the physical thing that you have to do, right? What do I have to think? What do I have to feel? And what do I have to do? Okay, that's afterwards, but first get my head right. First show me the simple light, and then I'll be able to really bring it down into everything.
Totally. As the Zohar says, that the real tikkun is to get down the light, like to reduce the light, to make the light compatible for the vessel, for the right vessel. And that's what I think YAM DARKECHA is, because even if you read Rosh Hashanah, it's not for everyone. For sure not.
Yeah.
But this book
No.
is for everyone.
And people get confused a lot and think that YAM DARKECHA is Rav Itchemeyer.
I know.
If you know his students, they don't like that. They talk in different ways. It's not the same. It's like, but we're blessed. It's definitely influenced by the Rebbe, and you can see that Rav Itchemeyer is if you know Rav Itchamar's stories, you see it throughout it. It's just definitely not the way he talks. It's not the same at all.
100%. And as Shlomo Karlebach says, it's not that we have books in our house. It's sefarim, it's sefirot, it's just light. It's our life. That's why we kiss it. He says that we never kiss the math book when we're young, but every time we finish a study of Torah, we just kiss it because that's our life. That's our life.
So true. Kiem chayenu ve'orech yameinu. Right? Every hour we say it. They're alive, and so we want to spend our days and our whole entire life dealing with getting deeper into Torahs that can change our life. And that's one of the most things. If you're dealing with retreats, your retreats are also very interesting because many people are doing retreats, but I've never heard a person say we take a book and we go really, really deep in a sense of a retreat. Right?
That's it.
I mean, I live in a world where we go to classes and we live this. Okay, so it's a little bit different, right? But that's really interesting because that is completely possible to go deep into a Torah and to let it take you on a trip that would lead to healing and to life-changing perspectives. And I want to give you a big bracha that you continue to do it and be successful in it because there's a lot going on now in the retreat world and everything, but essentially when you taste good Torah, it can do more than any drug, it can do more than any breath work, it can do more than anything. Sometimes you need those things, you need the breath work, you need the meditation to open up your heart, right? But the highest level of it is really, really just getting into the Torah.
That's a real thing. We're high. That's why I tell people we live high. That's high. That's the high, the chaim. That's life. That's brilliant. That's what. Yeah, Hashem just he told us this. Like, this is it. Ah, Ashreinu. Thank you, Hashem.
I want to finish off with this, the story of actually how I got my YAM DARKECHA.
Please.
It's a crazy story. So I had heard about Rav Itchamar and I had been exposed to some of his teachings, but I didn't have a YAM DARKECHA and I hadn't even seen it. And my sister lives in Renana, and this was during Corona. I went to go visit her, and everything was, masks and distance and praying outside and this, that, and the other. And I go to this one synagogue, and I'm outside.
Which one?
No, I can't say names. I can't say names.
I used to live. That's why, because I know her name.
I could tell you offline maybe, but I can't say anything. Okay. So whatever, I go to this one synagogue, and I'm like, they're praying outside, and there's a fence, and then the sidewalk, and I stand on the sidewalk, so I'm not inside the synagogue, and I try to pray, and they got upset that I wasn't with a mask. I'm a tzfari in Renana. It didn't really work well, right? So there's another synagogue right next to it, which could maybe give you the hint. And I just walked 10 steps to the next one down, and I stood there also on the sidewalk, not on their lawn, just listening to the Torah, answering amen, and trying to be part of the minyan without my mask. And then I also got kicked out of that one and told like I have to get out. So, and I wasn't even in it, but so I stood in the street and I was like, Hashem, please, I don't want to get angry. Please, where's their water? I need to go to the mikveh. All the mikvehs were closed because of Corona. This, that. Where? Find me a pool, something, someone that lets them dip that lets people dip in their mikveh, private mikveh. All of a sudden, I see a Breslover chassid walking, big beard, pale, Shabbat morning. I go up to him, said, where's their water? Where's their mikveh? You're a Breslover. You have to give me the answer. Where's their mikveh? Says, go to the mikveh of the city. I said, it's closed, it's locked. So he says, there's Frenchies, there's French Nanachs, Breslovers. They took an office and they dug a hole under the office and they made a mikveh underground, but you have to go in the back. Right? So, exactly, David Saada. Whoever knows, a big student of Rav Arush, yeah. And he made a whole entire underground project there. So finally, I get into this place, and I'm like blown away. I dip, I pray, and was so happy. And I connected with a guy that was there at that time, who was a student of Rav Itchamar for 25 years.
I know
his in-laws.
He goes there. He goes there.
Yeah, Alon Chaim David. Alon Chaim David, exactly. So after a while, we come close, right? I'm a student of a big tzaddik here in Tzfat, Rabbi Yitzchak Abu Chatzer, and he's with Rabbi Yitzchak Meir Morgenstern, and he kept talking after shul and everything, and he comes into shul, and he says to me, I was going to bring this book for the Beit Knesset, but I think it would be better in your hands. Right? So essentially, I kept B'yam Darkecha without doing it, without even knowing about it, and then I got it because I conquered my anger in that moment. I just tried to connect to Hashem. I saw Hashem in the situation. I didn't start screaming at these minions and everything. And then I was gifted the key to my life right after that. And from me conquering that anger and just trying to connect to Hashem more, instead of giving into the klipa, into what I was seeing with my eyes, which is two synagogues kicking a Jew away that wasn't even in their synagogue, right? Instead of that, I tried to connect with Hashem more, to go to a mikveh and to pray properly. And I was gifted a book that changed my whole entire life and has now, I mean, I have over 100,000 people look at my YouTube channel, and that's not even all the classes I've given on B'yam Darkecha over the years, right? So
crazy
it's
story.
a crazy, crazy thing.
That's what happens in Israel. It's just you have to go with the flow, and everything's gonna take care of it.
It's great. It's great. We're so blessed. We're so blessed. Anything that you want to say for the people to take away from this conversation or from this book?
Just open it up. Like you're gonna feel that. You're gonna get connected, and for sure, like get connected to classes. I think it's kedai. It's worth it. It's life saving. Really.
Perfect. If anybody's in Mexico traveling, make sure to reach out to Moy.
Please.
And to connect there. V'ezrat Hashem. And if you're coming to Tzfat, for sure, reach out. Anybody interested in reading, tasting a little bit of B'yam Darkecha, if it's not by way of my classes and you want to have a PDF version of it, if not the hardcover book, the books you can buy online. But anybody who wants a PDF and a taste of some of the teachings, please feel free to reach out, and I'll send you over some chomer, some material.
Exactly. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on. And B'ezrat Hashem, hopefully we'll see you in Tzfat soon. Next time you come, I'm going to steal you from Avshi. We have to have you for a meal in my house.
Yeah, just I'd love to. Thank you. Sure. I'd love to. We'll be in touch.
Shabbat shalom. Hashem bless you.
Bye-bye.
Brother.